You're familiar with Alex, the African gray parrot?
No.
Oh, you've got to look into this. I mean, maybe you could even get one of his trainers on the show. So Alex, the African gray parrots are probably the smartest bird. Definitely one of the smartest animals.
Right up there with crows or ravens?
Smarter. They're very, very smart. They can talk. They can reason. Alex the parrot was a uniquely smart African gray parrot. By the way, African grays are usually not kept in captivity just because they're such a handful. There we go. There's Alex.
They're a handful because they're so intelligent?
It's like dogs that need to be exercised. They
like
need to be
a German
intellectually
Shepherd.
stimulated. And most people just don't have the time to keep an African gray properly stimulated. So they start, they get depressed, they self-harm. So they're not recommended as a beginner parrot by any means. Now, Alex was interesting because he had a vocabulary, he understood grammar, and he is one of the only animal who asked an existential question, and he actually did it right before he died. If I remember correctly, like he wasn't just saying, give me food. He could say like, tomorrow I want this food. He could be, the existential question he asked was, what's happening and where am I going? Which is, and he had never asked those questions before. They were brand new, formulated questions that he asked very shortly before he passed. And so there's a lot of, now here's the other cool part. He's got a bird brain. He has a tiny little brain, and yet it has all that capacity. You've probably heard of people who have lost huge chunks of their brain and they reprogram and they seem to get by. Mm-hmm. Parrots like Alex suggest that you can get by with very little brain if it's oriented correctly. So imagine if I took a species like an African gray and I modified certain elements of its genetic code to cause its brain to be somewhat larger, somewhat more glucose consuming, so it has more energy, and then also to have more folds. They're very smooth brained. What if I could have, we know that folded brain tissue and the high density that it creates on the neuronal surface is very good for intelligence. Like, could you make an African gray that is able to have a normal human level conversation? I think it's actually very close to that.
Wow.
So this is one of those.
How many? Come on, can you tell me how many? 2. Very good.
What?
2.
We keep going. Can you tell me what's different? What's different?
Color.
Come on, what number is gray? Don't want to tell me? Well, tell me, what number is gray? A nut. What number is gray?
4.
Very good.
Holy
good boy.
shit, man.
Right. And I mean, you're looking at intelligence that's on par by all of the traditional metrics with a human toddler, but with radically less brain tissue. But
also radically less body to control.
That's true. And also a lot of like semi-autonomy. Like you know how some animals have more of their nervous system distributed, like, octopuses have, autonomy in their muscles. It's actually similar for a lot of animals. And so one of the reasons I've always found AI so interesting is not just what we can do with AI, but learning how, like building a thinking system from scratch, I'm thinking will help us understand how other systems think. Like there's never been an economic motive to really dig into how to understand how the brain fundamentally works. Like people, I know there's people who are listening who probably think that's crazy. They say, Palmer, people want to cure brain cancer. They want to help with Alzheimer's. There's a difference between preserving brain function and truly understanding how the brain works. And yes, there's research labs here and there, but Google's never been funding them to the tune of tens of billions, right? Meta's never been funding them to the tune of hundreds of billions.